What up, everybody? This is Rama Screen, and it's time for another celeb interview. And in the anticipation of The Planters, which will arrive at drive-in theaters October 9th, I'm here talking with the stars and the filmmakers of this movie, Hannah Leader and Alexandra Kotcheff. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, Rama.
Thank you for taking the time. I gotta ask. I watched this movie recently, and the vibe and the tone and the style of it kind of reminds me of Wes Anderson, which is a compliment because I love Wes Anderson. But is it, but is that part of what you guys had in mind when you made this film?
Yes, thank you so much, first of all, for that amazing comparison. We are very honored. But no, we did not. We like Wes Anderson, but it actually just fits into our aesthetic. And also because of the limitations of how we made the film, the camera couldn't move, which is a kind of a lot of the look of Wes Anderson. A lot of the times it's very static and he has a lot of headroom. And so to make a shot interesting and lonely feeling, which actually might be another similarity between our characters, you end up getting, he's like, anything that's done that way is automatically compared to him, which is great. We feel very honored by that. So no, but it wasn't initially like, no, we're not trying to be Wes Anderson, but thank you.
Well, as I said, it's a compliment and I love it. And so talk me through, for both of you, talk me through what it means to have shot this film entirely without on-set crew, because it usually takes a village to make a movie. But does this mean that if we pan the camera back, there's only a few of you guys, no boom mic guy, no hair and makeup person? Talk me through what that looked like exactly, and how did you guys make that work?
It basically looked like Alexandra and I losing our minds alone in the desert. So if you panned around, you would see the camera on a tripod.
Okay.
You would see shotgun mics or mic, depending if it was one person, on a mic stand. And if there was too much headroom in shots, which in our case there was a lot of headroom, sometimes you might see shotgun mics taped to Apple boxes with gaffer's tape. You would see, you might see some China ball lights if it was a night scene rigged to C-stands, and you would see no other humans except the two of us or Pepe Serna or Phil Paralisi, our other actors, if they were shooting, which they were not allowed to touch the equipment. So it really looked like a pretty bare set. And a lot of the day was spent setting up the equipment and doing test shots and figuring out how we could shoot it without any help.
Was that because of budget constraints? Was that a conscious decision from the start?
It was yes and yes. It was initially supposed to be a short film. We didn't anticipate the whole long form and how long it would take. But so, yeah, we wanted to just shoot it without a crew so we could get a proof of concept that turned into a feature film. And also, I mean, if it didn't take as long as it did, it would have been really cheap, really cheap to make, because it's only us. However, the time you have to, pay for your lodging, your food, and all that kind of stuff, it ends up adding up after a while. But I think it was all of the above. Yes and yes and yes.
So do you think that this could become the blueprint for other independent projects to continue their production during this COVID pandemic, without on-set crew?
I mean, I think it's definitely an option if you have time on your hands. I mean, I think definitely skeleton crews make a lot of sense right now if you're able, at least on features, to be in a bubble together and quarantine together. But I mean, sure, if people want to go on the adventure and do it, I think it's definitely an option during COVID to stay extra safe. We were super isolated the entire time, and we definitely could have made this film today.
On to the film itself. The words bizarre and eccentric and quirky crossed my mind when I was watching it. But it's weird in a pleasant kind of way. I like both characters, Martha and Sadie. Hannah, how fun was it for you playing multiple personalities? And Alexandra, How did you manage to keep a straight face the entire time? That's incredible.
It was so fun. I mean, it was such a blast. I feel like whenever we were shooting scenes with Emma, set felt particularly like a lot of laughter and lightheartedness. It was wonderful. It was a really creatively challenging and intense and fun adventure as an actor, um, and it was always, I mean, I had the best scene partner in the world, so she made it easy.
That's too kind of you. The feelings are absolutely mutual. And I don't know, I couldn't keep a straight face half the time. If you look at our outtakes, I would be like holding my lips together because she would be so funny. Like I could not keep it together. We are laughing all the time. So yeah, but I mean, of course you try to just focus on being that person that you're in that scene. And Martha doesn't find a lot funny. Nothing's really funny to her except very few things. So as long as I'm focused on being Martha, I could kind of keep a straight face.
What is the most interesting thing that you have ever dug up? Have you ever perhaps played with a metal detector and then got a shovel and found something in the dirt that makes you say, "Hey, that's interesting"?
You know, one time I did do geocaching in a cemetery,
Ooh.
and that was interesting. I actually honestly cannot remember the object we were looking for or if we ever found it, but it was a super creepy treasure hunting experience.
I love them. I love treasure hunting. I've loved it since I was a kid. I just think it's the coolest. I love the idea of surprise. I like archaeology, you know, finding fossils and rocks and that kind of stuff. So the inner geek in me loves it. I've done geocaching before. I like more of the idea of something being buried. I've always dreamed that I could be a pirate and go find treasure. It hasn't happened for me yet, but you know, still hoping.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And so, lastly, what do you hope the audiences would take away from the friendship story of Martha and Sadie? Because as I was watching it, I felt kind of sort of sorry or bad for them because, especially Martha, I mean, she really wants to be a good salesperson. so, what do you hope the audiences will take away from the themes of this film?
I think that the biggest thing I think for us is that you might feel alone, but you're not. There's someone out there. You're never alone. As lonely as you feel, there is someone out there who might not be like you, who might not look like you, who on first glance might actually be quite the opposite, but you have someone kindred out there who will see the beauty in you, who will see the goodness in you, who will forgive you, who for all your little warts and things that you don't forgive yourself for. This idea of unconditional love. I think these are all like really important things for friendship and what these people discover in this film.
I mean, I couldn't put it in, any better way than what she just said. I think how we find healing in intimacy with other humans, self-made family, like it's a choose your own adventure, and you just need to have a little bit of openness to be able to let others into your heart.
For my fans at home, everybody go watch The Planters at drive-in theaters October 9th. Hannah and Alexandra, thank you so much for talking to me, and congratulations.
Yes, thank you. We're also going to be virtually everywhere on the 9th. So you can watch us. If you can't go to a drive-in theater, you can watch us in the comfort of your own home. And if you're alone and you're in quarantine, don't fret. You have The Planters. The Planters!
There you go. The Planters, everybody. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.